Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 10 Japanese battleship, Yamato. She has 97,200 health, a top speed of 28.4 knots, 9 460mm guns, 30 secondary guns, a surface detect of 15.7 kilometers, and 87 AA defense rating. For my modules, improved auxiliary armament health, improved secondary gun range, improved secondary rate of fire, reduced the chance of flood and fire, faster rudder shift, concealment. For my commander, preventative maintenance, expert marksman, adrenaline rush, basic firing training, manual secondaries, and advanced firing training. We're on the map Hotspot, and this is an older replay, but it's a beautiful ship, it's a beautiful game, and we're going to see how well we play. Now, I don't really remember what I was thinking, but I can interpret what I was thinking, maybe correct any mistake that I see. So obviously, enemy Moskva, showing too much of a side. Now you see how I'm sort of trying to hope that the island icon will disappear? You see how it shows up if it's a little too shallow? Like this Grossa Kua first. Initially, it wasn't going to get over the island. It did get over the island. And right off the bat, I can see something that I made a mistake. Ooh, that was actually a pretty good shot. But not, sir. You need to set a manual secondary target. I know. I'm sure there's many of you who forget. Oh yeah, you've got to control click on the target. But that's exactly what I should be doing right now. I am wasting DPS by not manually controlling my secondaries to target a target. I just am. We're doing great damage against them. We've done 36,000. But yeah, finally I get the idea. And the secondaries are pretty good. Now, I can't remember if I had that particular build in this game, but that's the build I run right now with my Yamato. Go all in on secondaries, use the 10.6 kilometer range, push the tempo of the game. It helps deal with destroyers, honestly. I've seen people say, go defensive or go concealment, and maybe that is a good, valid build. But I just really like the Germans, and I sort of want to imprint this tankiness, this assault craft in the form of the Yamato. I don't know. So, enemy turrets showing up 10 at a side. Obviously, we're not going to citadel him, but we do about 11,000, and the secondaries are going off. I can't really complain in this position. I'm doing a lot of damage to the enemy, and they're not really doing enough to me to justify that kind of damage. Obviously, the turret has the potential to torpedo, but it is only 6 kilometers, and I don't think he wants to do that. At least not to me. Maybe to someone else, but who cares about them? And you might notice how I'm firing at the target. It's midship. Germans are midship. The hull line meets the superstructure. That's where you want to fire. You have really no chance to citadel them if they're perfectly broad and they're close. You've got to get outside of 15 kilometers in order to really have a chance. You might get them if you're in a jousting scenario, for instance, and they angle their ship just right. You can get it right under the torpedo, the turtleback armor. Yes, the turtleback armor. But most of the time, that's not going to happen. So I don't even try. I just try to make sure that the dispersion, plus or minus, is going to hit the target, and that's midship for the Germans. So we have 2 fires. I should put the fires out, honestly. I should really put the fires out. I don't know what I was looking at, but 2 fires is too many. And finally I do that, but I allowed it to burn for 10-15 seconds. We're going to use our heal. Probably need to use our heal a little bit more aggressively. In this game, I can see that I used Superintendent. It was that long ago. But I don't have enough points to go into Superintendent now. I usually go basic firing training, and hopefully I get manual secondary and the advanced firing training. And the reason I like basic firing training, it helps secondaries, it helps AA protection. It's just a really good skill if you intend to be a battleship. You get so much value out of it, especially German. The late tier Japanese, the same. Now, some people could say, oh, Superintendent's very good, but Superintendent gives me aircraft that I don't really need. The heal is welcomed, don't get me wrong, but the heal is usually not going to come online until 12 to 15 minutes into the match, and I think it will be decided well before that, or most likely. There are, of course, the anomalies where the game's, completely not, but that's not all of them. So this enemy Moskva apparently is going in reverse, but my team is having trouble at our base, and it's real trouble. So we get a little bit of damage on the Moskva. I honestly would have liked more. Out of 6 shells, only 3 made contact, 2 made damage. The enemy Hotspot is sitting in the smoke. That sort of tells you how long ago this game actually was. Don't be silly, Notser. Not a single Hotspot has smoke. Yeah. They wouldn't do it now. They're all going to use their heal, and they're just going to cheese the crap out of you, and they're going to have the equivalent of 35 to 40,000 health. All the overpen is healable. I mean, fire healable. It's really good in the Hotspot. Yeah, you give up smoke for your team, but you gain so much more tankiness that you're honestly probably absorbing more damage that is intended for someone else because they fired at you, because they're so afraid of you or so frustrated by you. So we're not really doing much at the enemy base. I really do feel like, and yes, the friendly on my team is right, we need to defend our home. Conveniently, the Hotspot leaves the safety of the smoke, and my secondaries are firing at him, but probably not going to hit him. Probably not going to hit him. So now we've got to deal with Cyclone. And this is sort of awkward. Cyclones are good and bad. Cyclones will allow a team that has a little bit weaker position to come back, potentially. Some of the things that ends up happening is that you address them one by one by one, and a Yamato can definitely do that. I can definitely take out a cruiser, another cruiser, even a destroyer. And yes, long ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, you said switch to HE against a destroyer. Well, not anymore. The way destroyers work is overpen. Obviously, it's not going to be in your favor, but if you get lucky, and there's a destroyer here, it definitely is a destroyer, but if you get lucky and a shell sticks in the ship, you will do more damage in one shell than you could possibly do. Look at that. Only one shell stuck in the ship, but it made it worth all of it. We did, 9 or 10,000, when we probably would only have done 6,000 with HE only shells. It's just a mechanic that is really awkward at times, because you really should encourage, and I just couldn't get out of the way. It did help the belt armor, but it didn't stop the flood, which is the thing I wish it did. But, yeah, you're supposed to encourage people to be, accurate with the ammo type they choose in the scenario. But for battleships, it's just AP's reward is so great. You have to fire AP. You have really no choice. If you're in the Dunkirk, it might be different. Dunkirk's a pretty piece of crap unless you fire HE at times. But for most battleships, fire that AP at those destroyers. They'll make a mistake, and a shell will stick in the ship. It's not looking too good, right? 4 enemy ships are on my base. Friendly Minotaur is trying to engage a battleship, and I can't see him yet. And I'm just so ready to kill him. But the Minotaur looks like he's going to ram him, and he doesn't actually get a ram on him, but we're able to finish off the broadside Amagi. And that worked pretty well. This is why Cyclone can give you a chance to bring it back. They can only address me one at a time, unless they're right on top of each other. So I'm going to try and address them one at a time whenever I'm fully reloaded. Right? Obviously, why would I do that? But you also have to set a target manual secondary, and I have a really tough time remembering that. It's just one of those things. Oh, by the way, if it's a cruiser with radar, they can detect you, by the way. Oh, this is not the cruiser with radar, but he's showing so much side. So, at the waterline, hoping and getting all the damage. Ooh. I think we can kill him. And look at that. The gearing absorbed the shot. I probably would have killed him if the gearing wasn't in the way. And now I have to deal with torpedoes. There is the hull of a dead enemy, so it will deflect some of the torpedoes, but oh, there are so many cruisers that we can kill. Ah, Yamato. Yamato's turret traverse is so bad. And I'm just trying to hit him in the front of the hull, maybe one or two. Alright, we get a citadel. Good, good, good. He probably tried to send torpedoes. This is not really a good scenario to be in. I probably shouldn't have used damage control knowing that torpedoes are a possibility. And yeah, this gearing is just going to sit in the smoke. I did set the enemy cruiser, and yep, here comes torpedoes. But I'm just trying to be ready to kill the gearing. You really have to kill the gearing. Oh, gosh. Open it just a touch. Use the front. Use the back. Yes, all right. And we're probably going to flood out. We're probably going to take significant damage in this. Oh, and of course, there's a destroyer right behind us. Oh, we've got so much dot damage on us. 2 fires and a flood. Just look at how fast our health is going to go down. But we should be able to kill him. That was so close. 3 fires. God. I should have kept damage control. I should have. It was a mistake. If I was addressing 3 targets, I just had to hold on to it. I can't afford to take this much dot damage, right? And yeah, you burn down really quick. But we took a lot of them with us. And that's a win in itself, right? We didn't win the game as a team, but I felt like I won the game in my play. We earned Confederate, Close Quarter Combat, Kraken Unleashed, Devastating Strike, 5 kills, 3 Citadels, Base Defense, 161,000 points of damage done. There's only one thing I would have changed. Well, in that instance, save damage control until it's the worst possible scenario, because we are addressing so many people. I earned 1,600 base XP in a loss, and that's not too bad, right? Let's say we have damage control. We use it after the last enemy is defeated, instead of using it when we have 1 or 2. It would have worked out better. You basically have to, I would say, use it on 2 fires until you get into a scenario where you know you're going to get more than 2 fires. Then you have to be very, very aggressive with it and save it until the very last second. I hope you enjoyed that game. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.